We just saw the release of Gemini 3.0 Pro, and honestly, it shocked everyone. This model is insanely fast on all fronts, and it's proficient with its coding capabilities, next level reasoning, as well as its versatility. It feels like Google finally dropped a true heavy hitter that can do it all. And as always, whenever Google releases a major model, there is always a Flash model right behind it. We saw this with the Gemini 2.0 Flash as well as with the 2.5 Flash, where Google introduced a super cost-efficient, lightning-fast, scaled-down variant of the flagship model. But in this case, I don't think the Gemini 3.0 Flash is going to be scaled down too much. It is something that will be proficient in a lot of other domains that Gemini 3.0 Pro isn't in. But anyways, the Gemini 3.0 Flash is on the way. Huge leaks are showing that Google is actively testing Gemini 3.0 Flash across multiple places inside the Google AI Studio, as well as through the Gemini web app, and even through leaked checkpoints and hidden endpoints. Some are even able to access it through the A/B testing, which is extremely rare but technically possible. And across different portals, already see direct references to Gemini 3.0 Flash baked into the UI, meaning this thing is basically finished and all signs are pointing at it dropping very soon, likely next month. Remember guys, this is super rare to actually get the Gemini 3.0 Flash. You just need to go over to the Gemini Canvas app and you can simply send in any prompt and you have the possibility to get the A/B testing, which gives out two different model generations. And in this case, if you're getting this generation where it's thinking it's using the Gemini 3.0, which is not what we're looking for in this case. But to put some context behind all of this, Gemini 3.0 Flash might actually be Google's best model yet. This isn't just speculation because Sundar, the Google CEO, basically confirmed this by stating Gemini 3.0 Flash is coming and it's going to be a very, very good model. Might be their best model yet. So this isn't just another budget model like we saw with the previous light tiers of the different Gemini 2.0 or 2.5 Flash models. This is where Google, I believe, is positioning the Gemini 3.0 Flash as a breakthrough, not just a compromise, and it's something that will bring Gemini 3 level intelligence, but at a cheaper, faster, and scaled up Flash architecture. And when Sundar says it might be their best model yet, that's when he knows something crazy is going to be coming. Now, luckily, we have gotten access to a couple of different demos of the Gemini 3.0 Flash, and the real outputs are truly insane because there is a couple of SVGs as well as video demos of this model. And in this case, the SVGs that it was capable of generating aren't simple shapes or icons. These are high quality, highly structured, problem-solving SVGs that show awesome, serious reasoning ability. In this case, it was able to generate a pelican riding a bike, and you can see how qualitative the output is in comparison to any other model generating this. And you also have a PlayStation controller that was generated. This one looks a little lackluster in terms of its quality, but the symmetry as well as the structure looks pretty good. And in my opinion, it definitely outperforms many state-of-the-art models that were given the same prompt. But in terms of coding and problem solving, it's doing quite well, but it's also doing it faster. This lines up perfectly with Sundar's claim that Google's best model could be the Gemini 3.0 Flash. And I showed you this image before. It seems that Gemini 3.0 Flash also comes with the 32 reasoning token. This is where it lines up with the new reasoning token architecture Google has been testing behind the scenes. And one thing that you can also note with this model is that it appears to be given the code name proudbear, which is pretty interesting. Also, looks like internal leaks as well as traders on Polymarket are also hinting at a release date by December 31st, which has an 83% chance of happening. I personally believe that it will possibly even happen before that, maybe before December 15th if we're lucky, but if not, it will be probably around before Christmas to counter what OpenAI is going to be launching, maybe the 5.2 during that time. Here is our first demo of a SaaS landing page being generated by the new Gemini 3.0 Flash model. This is with the A/B testing, and you can see the quality is pretty good. It is something that mimics the same quality of the Gemini 3.0 Pro, but It doesn't offer it the same sort of generation quality as it, but still it looks really reputable, and it looks a lot better than what we saw previously with the Flash models. Here is an animated butterfly I had requested it to generate within the Gemini app, and to get the response, it took me approximately 20 minutes. But this is the quality of output that I got from the Gemini 3.0 Flash, which actually looks pretty decent in my opinion. It doesn't look totally like a butterfly, but it functions like one, and I guess if the wings on the bottom were a bit more lowered, it would look a lot better. But in my opinion, this is one of the most unique as well as best generations I've seen for a butterfly. Also, something interesting I noticed is that there's 4 new mysterious models popping up in Design Arena. And based on the naming patterns, they seem to be OpenAI codenames like Robin, Cardinal, Sparrow, as well as Bluebird. All bird themed, which lines up exactly how OpenAI labels early stage experimental models. There's no confirmation yet, but the pattern definitely is familiar with the new Gemini or OpenAI GPT 5.1 model. And something interesting I also noticed is that within LLM Arena, there's a second batch of brand new models showing up, and these ones feel more like Google internal codenames. Like flashstride, you have blitzphase, swiftflare, rushstream, dashspark, as well as voltwhirl. The naming style matches Google's speed-based codenames, and it almost certainly is tied to whatever next-gen Flash variants they're cooking up. But the only thing is that is surprising is that these are non-multimodal models, so I'm not too sure about if it's 100% Google, but it does look like it. And this is just a reference as to how the Bluebird model looks from OpenAI. You can tell how typical the slop is in terms of the generations. It mimics exactly the same sort of style you would see from a typical OpenAI model. And overall, it's a pretty good model in my opinion. And it does look like it will be released during Christmas time. I believe it's going to be the GPT 5.2. And if you're looking to access these new variants, whether it's the OpenAI one or any of the Google batched ones, you can definitely do so through Web Dev Arena as well as through Design Arena. And you can actually get some pretty good ad generations like you see over here of a CRM dashboard. And I gotta say that this Bluebird model from OpenAI does look really good in comparison to the GPT 5.1 model. It is really qualitative. It looks really good in terms of its designing and how much effort it puts into all the small components like you would see with Claude 4.5. Still needs a lot more work, which it will get better at over time. But overall, I'm really happy to see that OpenAI has done a great job with this variant. With the 3.0 Flash, I was able to generate this web-based operating system, and it's pretty good in my opinion. The formatting as well as the overall structure looks pretty good. You have functional apps which actually work, which is great to see. You have the notepad, the calculator, as well as the terminal. You also have a browser, and overall, it did a great job in formulating all the components that we had requested. And in terms of its creativity, it did a great job with this. So, in my opinion, this is something that it did a really great job at generating with the 3.0 Flash. But that's basically it, guys, for today's video on the new Gemini 3.0 Flash lathe.
If you enjoyed this video, this is what we do here. Fast, clear updates on the biggest moves in AI. If you want to stay ahead of everything happening in this space, make sure you subscribe